I used to believe that some people were meant to be seen, and others were meant to stay quietly in the background. For 3 years, I lived comfortably in the background. My name is Ethan Miller, and I was the executive coordinator to Rebecca Lawson, the CEO of one of Chicago's fastest-growing architectural firms. Rebecca wasn't just successful, she was commanding. When she walked into a room, conversations lowered, decisions sharpened, and people listened. She carried success like it was stitched into her spine. And I carried her calendar, her coffee preferences, and her unspoken stress. I learned early on that Rebecca didn't complain. She endured. Deadline, investors, press interviews, family pressure. She carried it all with a tight smile and steady hands. Everyone admired her strength. No one noticed how tired she was. Except me. Friday nights were the worst. That was when her mother called. That was when Rebecca's shoulders stiffened, her voice cooled, and her eyes lost focus. I never asked, but I always knew. That night was no different. She stood in her office, staring at the city lights through the glass wall, phone pressed to her ear. I heard only her side of the conversation. Yes, Mom, I understand. No, I'm not canceling again. Fine. She ended the call and let out a breath that felt heavier than air. Big plans? I asked gently, already knowing the answer. She gave a humorless smile. Dinner, with someone carefully selected to remind me that I'm running out of time. I wanted to say you're allowed to live at your own pace. I wanted to say you don't owe anyone your future. Instead, I said, do you want me to reschedule tomorrow morning's site visit? She looked at me then, really looked at me, like she was trying to read something she'd missed for years. No, she said softly, but thank you for asking. 2 hours later, I was home, eating reheated pasta and pretending I wasn't staring at my phone every few minutes. Then the message came. Rebecca, are you awake? Me, always. Rebecca, I hate this. That was all it took. I grabbed my jacket. The restaurant was expensive in a way that tried too hard. Dim lights, low music, glasses that felt fragile in your hand. I spotted Rebecca immediately. She sat across from a man who leaned back in his chair like he owned the place, speaking loudly, laughing at his own words. Rebecca smiled politely. Her eyes searched the room. Then she saw me. I didn't hesitate. Rebecca, I said urgently, approaching the table. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but there's a situation at the North Shore project. Her expression shifted instantly, professional, alert. What kind of situation? She asked. The city inspectors moved the review forward. They're asking for revised structural approvals tonight. It was a lie, a convincing one. The man frowned. Is this really necessary right now? Rebecca stood, calm and controlled. My company comes first. She didn't look back as she walked away. Outside, the night air was sharp and honest. For a moment, we just stood there. Then she laughed. Quiet first, then free. You didn't have to do that, she said. Yes, I did. She studied me. You're a terrible liar. I practice for emergencies. Her laughter faded into something softer. Thank you. I didn't realize how badly I needed an exit. We walked. No destination. Just movement. That night, we talked, not about work, not about expectations, but about exhaustion, about pressure, about how lonely success can feel when no one asks how you're holding up. It became a pattern after that. She went on dates. I became the escape. We never said what it was. We never crossed lines. But something shifted. She stopped being just my boss. She became Rebecca, and I stopped being invisible. Until the night I didn't show up. My car broke down on a highway ramp. Hazard lights blinking uselessly as my phone buzzed in my hand. Rebecca, where are you? I stared at the screen. Helpless. Me, I'm stuck. I'm so sorry. Her reply came later. Rebecca, it's okay. He's actually kind. That sentence stayed with me longer than it should have. The following weeks were different. She smiled more, talked about dinners, about plans, about someone who wasn't me. So I made a decision. I typed my resignation letter with steady hands and a breaking heart. When Rebecca read it, she didn't yell. She just went quiet. "You're leaving," she said. "I need to," I replied. "For him?" she asked sharply. "For myself," I said, finally honest. "I can't stand next to you pretending I don't feel what I feel." Silence filled the room. Then she whispered, "You're too late." My chest dropped. "I ended things last night," she said, "because every time I was with him, I was thinking about you." I looked at her, disbelief fighting hope. "I was waiting," she continued, eyes shining, "for you to see me, not as your boss, but as a woman who needed someone who already knew her." I laughed softly. "I saw you long before you noticed." She stepped closer. "Then don't disappear." "I didn't. I left the job, but not her." And for the first time in my life, I realized that sometimes love isn't about rescue. Sometimes it's about finally stepping forward and letting yourself be seen. Thank you for watching Classic Stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that remind us how powerful compassion truly is.